think that's kind of why I started Smile I Stutter is for my son, but I also started it because I feel like we all need a buddy and we all need a friend. And like, I know that my childhood would have been much better if there would have been a friend.
Welcome to Some Stutter Law, Newfoundland and Labrador's first podcast about stuttering. My name is Greg O'Grady, and I am a person who stutters and a co-host of Some Stutter Law, Newfoundland and Labrador's first podcast about stuttering, along with my co-host.
And I'm Katelyn Mayo. I'm a future speech-language pathology student, and I'm Greg's co-host on this podcast.
Some Stutter Law mission is dismantling and rebuilding stuttering. Let's start listening. Some Stutter Law mandate is in the spirit of Newfoundland and Labrador humor, robust and frank interactive discussions. Some Stutter Law podcast aims to rebuild confidence and hope for today's and tomorrow's person who happens to stutter by dismantling stuttering myths, stigmas, stereotypes, and barriers.
The objectives of Some Stutter Law podcasts are supporting, raising awareness, and increasing understanding and acceptance of stuttering, providing people who stutter, their families, professionals, students, and the general public with current information, research, and resources about stuttering, and promoting advocacy and support for people who stutter.
Today, some Stutter Law would like to welcome Michael Campbell. Now, Michael is a 38-year-old father who is a person who stutters, and he also has a son, Cameron, who is 13 years old and also stutters. Now, Michael reached out to Katelyn recently, wanting to be on Some Stutter Law. So, Mike, would you explain the reason why you had reached out and wanting to be a guest on Some Stutter Law?
Well, like I wanted to be a guest because I really do feel the same passion as you guys do about that there needs to be more awareness, and because whenever you look at it from like just a numbers point of view, there's close to 70 million people worldwide that stutter. Okay, so if you break that down to the U.S., that turns into be about 3 million people in the U.S. that stutter. And if you want to break that down even further, that into 1 out of every 100 men stutter, and then it turns into 1 out of every 300 girls stutter. And so like I know that bringing I know that bringing awareness is very, very vital, but you also have to understand that the probability of you being the only person that you being the only person that's met someone that stutters, like that's pretty high. And so I would also like people to like not jump to the defense and maybe just take a second to kind of educate, because maybe those people don't. And maybe the reason why they're asking such ignorant questions is because they really are ignorant, and they just don't know. That's not a bad thing, right? So like we have to teach them also. And I think that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to come on.
Absolutely. Yeah. Awareness is such a big piece of this podcast. Maybe do you want to share a little bit about your personal experiences with stuttering and kind of that have led you to wanting to raise awareness, I guess?
Oh, sure. So I grew up in this like little bitty small town. Okay. Like I maybe had like one grocery store. I mean, like 2 lights and a bunch of horses. And so and my first negative stuttering experience was when I was in 5th grade. So I had to go, at my 5th grade class, our teacher asked us all to get up, asked us to go and say our name and tell everybody where we live and tell everybody like one cool hobby, okay? Well, I tried to hide and like I tried to like make myself invisible. And so a teacher found me, and so I had to get up. So I tried talking, and then another teacher walked in, and the teacher looked at me and said, "Oh my God, what is wrong with you?" And so from ever since then, like I've had this stigma, right? And like, and now that I look back on it now, I don't think she was being mean. I just think that she was being ignorant. And she just doesn't know, you know, and even, you know, as I got older, I joined the military, you know, and there's certain things you have to say, you know, and you have to say them correctly. And whenever you don't say them correctly, you get kind of disciplined. Well, they always use me as the person that couldn't say it correctly. So like I got harassed all the way through the military. I got like, it was just bad. And then so I eventually got married, and I had a son. And like, whenever I found out that we were going to have a child, I was so full of joy. And like I was the most happiest person on earth, right? And then whenever camera started talking, the same stutter that I had, he had. And without being too emotional, like that broke my heart. Like that truly devastated me. And it devastated me because like I knew he was going to have to go through the same things I went through. Right? He was I could tell that he was going to get bullied. I was going to tell, you know, Cameron was going to get picked on, you know, and like, and to me, I had to do something like, and so that's why I created Smile I Stutter. So, which I have good news for about. I got my granting finally. So we're going to be we're going to be a real nonprofit, and so I'll be able to help everybody. Right now, I've been able to send masks, and I've been able to send shirts and all kinds of things all the way out to South Africa. I've sent things out to the UK. The Montreal Congress that's in 2022. And they're going to try to get me out there to speak. And but like I think if like there was like one thing to say, and like there's nothing wrong with me. Like there's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with Greg. Like it's just you just have a hard time saying words, and that's it. And like I wish people would just take that as it is. But instead, they treat you like you're stupid, and they treat you like you're slow, and they talk to you like for instance, this past weekend I had gone to a restaurant, and so the waiter could tell that I was having a hard time, and so the waiter goes, "Would you like to order this or would you like to order this? I'm like, dude, I'm not 4. Like just relax. And so I think that's kind of why I started Smile I Stutter is for my son, but I also started it because I feel like we all need a buddy and we all need a friend. And like, I know that my childhood would have been much better if there would have been a friend.
Michael, I'm wondering now. When when did you start up Smile I Stutter? When did you start up that? And are you working with a group of people now to support you, or are you doing it on your own?
Well, okay, so I made a Facebook video a long time ago, and so my son goes back and forth to Vegas. I live in Texas. His mom lives in Vegas. So right around the age of 12, Cameron wanted to start saying his own things whenever he had to go through TSA. So I let him, and the rudeness of people, like the rudeness of like grown-ups, like they would ask him these these horrible questions, like, what's your name? Like did you I forget your name? And like my son's like, no, and then they started asking, oh, do you even know where you're going? And these are all 30, 40, 50-year-old people. And so like, so after that day, I made these. These are my Smile Stutter masks. So, and then I made these little wristbands. And I made these shirts, Smile I Stutter t-shirts. And so the thought behind it was okay, whenever you see me coming, like you can read, you should be able to read one of these 3 items, right? And then just in case you can't read that, you can definitely read that. Okay, so I save up all my money. I buy all this stuff myself. Whenever someone reaches out on my page, I mail them a mask. I mail them one of the wristbands, and then I also write them. A personalized letter. And I've been able to do this in the UK. I've been able to do it all the way out in South Africa and California. And that's where I'm at.
Just looking at your items there, Michael, the hat and the mask and the wristband. You've given Katelyn and I some ideas to help help promote some stutter law within our province.
Yeah,
you really have. Yeah,
definitely should.
And yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Sorry. See, that's the one. So I always make a joke with my friends. Whenever you get 2 stutterers talking at the same time, like you're never going to get anything out. And then, okay, so and like what you're doing right now, like that's what Smile I Stutter is, right? Like stuttering doesn't have to be this negative like thing, right? Like you still have to smile about it, right? You have a choice. You either smile about an opportunity or you can be negative about it, but you have to make that choice. And so that's why the logo says the smile part. You just got to smile sometimes.
Michael, you have a positive attitude towards your stuttering. When did you make this, I guess, acceptance or transition from taking and what you're saying, Michael, is so true. So sometimes people become so obsessed, and they allow us. I mean, we allow our stuttering to control us emotionally, psychologically. There's a fine line to. I mean, there's we have to keep things in perspective. We as people who stutter often have a train wreck speaking experience, but I think overall that we have to sort of try to be a little more positive and more more accepting. So when did you make this transition? You seem to be very optimistic.
Well, it happened whenever I took my son to the airport, and those adults were so horrible. And then whenever I contacted the airport, all they said was, "We're going to give you a $40 voucher, and that's it." And I'm like, no, like I don't want your money. Like I want to make change. Not because it's $40. That's not going to build my son's self-esteem back up. So like we have to make change. And so I think whenever I stopped thinking about myself, and then I started thinking about what it's going to do to him, I think that's when I changed.
I'm wondering now, you've kind of talked a lot about how you started Smile I Stutter, and you've already done a lot of things, I feel like, in a short period of time. What are some of your bigger goals or dreams for this?
Oh, okay. So I have a lady that's working with Veterans Affairs, and she's going to help me create a curriculum that's going to be blended. It's going to be blended with both speech therapy, and it's going to be blended with mental health therapy. And so my goal is to have one Smile I Stutter representative in every single school, going from kindergarten all the way to college. And this needs to happen worldwide. And this needs to happen because there's currently nowhere for there's nowhere for the person that stutters to go. Whenever that person needs a hug, and as simple as that sounds, I mean, I would have loved to have a hug. Like I was in 4th grade. I would have loved to have had that. So if you had a place to go on campus, that's going to help you kind of like a reboot. I think that's what's needed. And I don't think there's any more to it than that.
Yeah, no, I think building the community is just so important. I think in all cases for everything, knowing that you have a support system there is super, super powerful.
And then the next thing, I want to pass a law. So I want to call it the Cameron's Act, because my son's name is Cameron. And then I want it to be mandatory that all drive-thrus have some form I want to have it mandatory to where all drive-thrus have some form of a touch option. So that people with stutter don't have to have anxiety whenever they go through a drive-thru. And just thinking about going through the drive-thru right now, whew, this gives me a lot of anxiety. But okay, so whenever you go up to a drive-thru, like you already know what you want, right? But then whenever she says, "How may I help you?" it just goes blank. It's like, and so then you struggle with what you're going to say. The lady can't hear you. You have to try to say it again. And by this time, the car behind you is getting like this closer, like it's just closer and closer to your bumper, you know. And then at the end of it, all you say is whatever's easiest to come out, and you eat that. And like that's the truth for me, and that's the truth for my son, and that's the truth for a lot of other stutterers that I know. So if there was some form of touchscreen option, you wouldn't have that issue ever again. And so you could use that for mute people. You could use that for you could use that for people that are hard of hearing. There's so many people that can use that, and it's 2021. Like we should live in a world now where like everything is just more, you know, acceptable. For disabilities.
Michael, just thinking about what you're saying about having a touch screen driving through a drive-through, you're right, because we all go through so much anxiety.
Oh.
And depending on what what you're ordering, I mean nowadays, and then but if you put the item aside, just what you want to order, but when you're thinking about the cars behind you, and then the attendant trying to understand you,
yeah,
it causes so much anxiety that it sort of it makes one stuttering so worse sort of thing.
Yeah.
Now, Michael, how is Cameron doing in terms of in terms of dealing with he's stuttering? I mean, the most important thing, he's very fortunate to have you who who's his father that stutters. How what's relationship, and how are you supporting him, and vice versa?
Well, I can have him tell you. I can have him tell you.
Oh my God! So he's there. Oh yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, like to meet him.
Awesome. You have a seat here, and I will sit right here. Make sure we can see each other here.
Okay.
This is Cameron.
Hi, Cameron. My name is Greg O'Grady, and I'm a person who stutters, and I am the a co-host of some Stutter Law, the first podcast stuttering about stuttering in Newfoundland, and this is my co-host.
I'm Katelyn. I'm a future speech language pathologist. Super cool that you were able to come chat with us. This is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. This is great, Cameron. And your father has been telling us a lot about you. So how are you handling your stuttering, Cameron?
Honestly, it just goes like day by day, really.
Okay.
So I have a few things that I use to cope with it. So when I'm really stuck on a word, I'll just restart my sentence and then I'll just do it again.
Okay. Do you have some, do you find that some situations more challenging for you? What sorts of situations do you have problems with?
Yes, sir. So usually when like I'm around like a big crowd, it gets kind of difficult.
It sounds like you've got a really good support system, though, for dealing with your stutter. Do you feel like you've got a lot of support that's kind of been helping you deal with your stutter?
Yeah, kind of, yes.
Yes and no. Some good experiences, some bad experiences. That's how it is.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you want to share? Maybe some advice if there's other kids who stutter. Anything that you want to share?
Just take your time speaking. And like, cause like when you have like pressure, how it gets worse. Just calm down, just take your time.
So, Cameron, do you feel comfortable telling people that you stutter when you're having some some challenges speaking?
Oh yeah, I don't mind. I telling people I stutter. I don't mind it.
How are things going in school for you when
Great.
you're called about? Yeah, okay, good.
Great. I have all A's. That's good.
Okay. Do your teachers know that you stutter? Did you talk to your teachers before school started?
I don't think that they know. And I think they do know. Cause some of my teachers they'll wait for me to say it, but some of my other teachers they don't understand.
What do you think some of the biggest challenges are that you face as a like 13-year-old person that stutters?
Cause people don't really have patience sometimes, and so that's what really has pressure, and so I just want people to feel like they're not any different than other people. Cause I just don't want people to think they're much different. Cause the only difference is that I have a stutter. That's it.
Yeah, that's super important.
And you're kind of crazy, but that's neither here nor there.
I'm just wondering one more question. Do you know any other kids who stutter?
I knew one because I remember he did stutter. It would be really bad. He didn't do it often.
Yeah, there's not a lot in schools. You don't really meet a lot of other students, but I think it's super helpful to meet other people who stutter and have that community. So it's interesting to see.
I don't know if you guys are on Instagram or not, but Cameron and I made a video on Instagram, I think a day before yesterday, where Cameron talked a lot about what he wanted to say to other 13-year-old kids and to other parents. So in case you guys want to check that out, maybe get some snippets from there too.
For sure.
Cameron, I'm wondering, you had mentioned that some of the teachers may not understand what stuttering is. How would you suggest that we change that to educate teachers about stuttering? What would you suggest?
So I would say that you give them time to say it. If they can't say it, say I can get to you later. Just think about what you're gonna say. Cause sometimes they'll just give you 5 seconds to say what you're gonna say like, and if you don't say it, then he'll just move on to the next person. And like, I think that patience, really.
Okay, well, thanks a lot, Cameron.
Yes, thank you so much for chatting with us. That was super cool.
Thank you. That was
Nice meeting you
excellent.
all.
Nice meeting you as well.
Everybody.
Michael, Cameron made an interesting point, because I think like within the school system, there's a lot of there's a lot of teachers that really don't understand stuttering, and they need to be educated more. Have you gone into the schools, or what's your thoughts about that?
I have not gotten to schools yet, but I am writing my own curriculum to that whenever the curriculum's done, I'll be able to present it to some school boards, and hopefully start making my way into some schools.
One of the things that I really want to do as a speech pathologist when I eventually get there is educate teachers, because there's SLPs in the schools working with the kids, but the teachers don't know what they're doing, how they're treating these kids, how they can also help. There's not enough communication between the two, and that's one of the big things I really want to do is educate teachers on how they can be more helpful and accessible and accepting of people who stutter.
I would say that like one of the easiest things to do is like maybe put the person that stutters up close to the desk. And the reason why is that if there's a person that stutters that has a question and he has to talk across class, he's not going to do it. But if there's a person that stutters and his desk is like right next to yours, all he's got to do is just tap it, and that's a lot easier. And then I guess like one of the other things that's going to go along with the curriculum is so like my main goal, okay, is to change the way future generations think about people with disabilities. That's my main goal. So the way you have to do this is once I get into schools, I'm going to create a buddy program, okay? The buddy program doesn't have to be with two people that stutter. The buddy program only has to be with one person that stutters and one person that's normal, or I guess, that doesn't have this. And so this way, the person's going to know what it's like to go through, a stutter. And so that buddy's got to be able to defend, his friend, and the goal is for those two people to become buddies, all through life. And then that's going to stop the bullying. That's going to stop the teasing. That's going to stop all that. And like I think that needs to happen.
You had mentioned, Michael, that as part of your curriculum for the school system, you're going to address the mental health component, which I feel that it's understated and not not addressed sufficiently. How are you going to incorporate that within the
Well, so whenever the representative is there, they're going to be trained, and they're going to be trained properly. Okay, like so a couple of the main mental issues that people that stutter have are anxiety, depression. They have no self-confidence. I mean, I can just think of three that were my problem, right? So if you if you can fix those three things, then that person that stutters is going to have, a much better chance at becoming like a happy individual. And so the representative is going to be able to help them with that, and he's going to be able to help them, with like whatever tics they're going through. And like everybody says, oh, there's guidance counselors right now, but guidance counselors don't know anything either. Like 9 times out of 10, the guidance counselor is like 75 years old, right? So like they don't really have a lot of patience, you know. So like you have to have somebody that's there for them, and just them, and that's it. Like there's people specialized there's people specialized to help a certain person. So there should be a person specialized to help a person that stutters. We're no different. We have the same issues, right? We just can't speak very well. And especially whenever you give me caffeine. Hey, look, so I had a friend. Okay, I give you 2 stories. So one which really makes no sense. Like I don't know why they did this in the beginning, but it's just really stupid. So I used to work as a security guard, and one of the shift workers came up to work late. So there was a slot open, and I was like, hey, I'll take it. You know, I don't even care what it is. You know, I need the money. And so the guy was like, all right, cool. And so it turned out to be the 911 dispatcher. I was like, no. So I asked the guy, I was like, are you sure that you want to give me this job? Like, I need you to think about this. Like, what if something happens? Are you sure you want me to take this phone call? Oh yeah, you got it. Okay, so like nothing happens. Nothing happens until about 3:30 in the morning. Okay, so when you're tired and you stutter, it gets way worse. So this lady calls, and the first thing that went wrong was the lady kept trying to say hello. The lady was like, hello, and I'm like, and so the lady's freaking out. I'm freaking out, and so I leave the dispatch area. I run and go find someone, and I ring in the phone, and that was the last time I was ever a 911 dispatcher. It didn't last very long. But hey, that's not my fault. Like, I mean, you knew like what you were going to get into. And then another one. Oh shoot, I really can't think of the other one now. But yeah, that was a pretty crazy job.
I'm wondering, Michael, when you have train wreck speaking experiences, when we stutter, I mean, the stuttering is really escalating. How do you handle the after effects? Like sometimes people stutter when we have a bad speaking experience, that we get down on ourselves, we get depressed, frustrated. How do you handle these situations?
I mean, I just handle them like those situations are going to happen, right? Like there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to find the best way to handle it for you. And you know, for me, like I'll get like really deep into it, and like I'll get to the point where like I cannot move, and I like like that, and like I just go through it. Like if you want to hear what I have to say, well then you'll wait. And if you don't, well then it's not that important for you to hear anyway. But like as far as my body goes, man, I move like I really can't breathe sometimes, and because I'm trying so hard to like not pass out, and then like, you know, I just to get the word out, and then, you know, I also look down. I look down because I don't like, because I know what I look like. Okay, so I don't need to see you looking at me like that. So I just look down, and I just get through it. And you know, there's a lot of times in like my private life that things do get pretty hard. You know, like whenever I'm trying to make phone calls, or like whenever I just watch the phone ring, you know, because I don't want to answer it, you know, like those are real issues. Also real issues are whenever you have to call a company and you're on hold for shoot like 30 minutes, and then whenever the line comes on and they say hello and you can't say hello back, and then you get hung up on. Like that is the most that's the most defeating thing ever. Like that's one of those things that are really kind of bring me down a little bit.
So you're talking about the low, the below the surface of the iceberg.
Yeah.
Cameron, you know, like when we have when we have a bad speaking experience, we go through a lot of embarrassment, shame, depression, anxiety. You know, do you know when Camera experiences like a situations like that, does he feel comfortable sharing that with you, and how do you support him or work with them?
Oh man, Cameron's my best friend. Like I'll tell him all of my struggles with stuttering, and he'll tell me all his. And you know, we even laugh about it sometimes. You know, like I don't know about you guys, but like me, I'll start stuttering sometimes, and like I'll say some word that I've never heard before in my life, and Cameron will look at me and be like, "Dad, what'd you say?" I'm like, I don't know. And so, you know, like it's like, yeah, it sucks to stutter, but it definitely sucks worse whenever you're going through it by yourself. And so I've made it my mission to not let him go through that by himself ever.
I think that's super important. And I think that's a great spot to end it, just because we have another meeting that we need to hop onto. But we had a fantastic conversation.
Yeah.
There's definitely more we could talk about.
Yeah.
Just wondering if there's any last remarks that you want to add, any questions for us, anything you want to say?
Yeah, just be kind. I mean, the world's tough enough. You know, it takes effort to be kind than it does to be angry, you know? So just be kind. And follow me on Smile I Stutter.
Perfect.
You know, Michael, as a thought, you had mentioned that you and Cameron did you and Cameron did a video together. So something would like that would be an excellent teaching tool to bring into the schools.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's great. Well, Michael, I mean, we'll have we'll have to do a follow-up interview with you, because we, like as Katelyn was saying, we we have more more questions to ask you.
Perfect.
But anyhow, thank you very much for your advocacy support for for people who stutter. Take care, Cameron.
Bye. It was so nice to meet you.
Bye, guys.
Some Stutter La, Newfoundland and Labrador's first podcast about stuttering, has so much to talk about. Let's start listening.
This has been an episode of Some Stutter La, Newfoundland and Labrador's first podcast about stuttering. Some Stutter La is hosted and produced by Greg O'Grady, Katelyn Mayo, Dr. Paul D. Decker, and Alusa Denu. Some Stutter La is available on Anchor, Spotify, Breaker, Google Podcasts, Pocket Cast, and Radio Public. To ask any questions, send us a comment or a suggestion, or just keep in touch. Find us online at Some Stutter Podcast on Instagram, or Some Stutter Love Pod on Facebook. Thank you for listening.